Join us live as we talk these new Stadia Pro games for December. Jedi Fallen Order on Stadia. Man, let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
What is up, people? What is up, people? What is up, people? It is your boy MM2K back with a special edition of the Stadia Dosage. Shout out to everybody. This is live. This is why this is special. We're trying to do something new. We mixing it up here, mixing the flavor pot a little bit. What's going on to the homie Raider Guy 87? What is up? What is up? What is up? And everybody else that comes through for this special live edition of the Stadia Dosage. Okay, so here's what we want to do today. We want to talk about the Stadia Pro games, and we want to talk about Jedi Fallen Order on Stadia, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That one is a phenomenal treat. Shout out to our homeboy Project Storm, Mr. Stadia 4K himself. He jumped on the scene. He checked it out. He was kicking the tires for your boy, and he called me up. He said, "Hey, yo, Mars, you gotta get on this because it's not only 60 frames per second in the 1080 mode." He said, "I don't even want to talk about it. Because I don't do that 1080 mode." He says, "But in that 4K mode, it's 60 frames per second there, baby." So I said, okay, all right, we got to pull the trigger on that one. Let's do it. But if you could do us a huge favor, hit that hunchback arrow below. Let everybody know that we're live. We are going to do the daggone thing, man. Shout out to the Sneaky Ray Sharadi is in the house. Hell Monkey is in the house. Hello. Stadia Universe, what is going on? What is going on, my good friends? All right, so let's chat it up. Let me know if the volumes is right and all that other good stuff. Again, we're doing it live, special Stadia Doses. We're going to flare it up a little bit here and there. We're not going to be too long. This is not a Stadia live session. This is a Stadia Dosage video. But sometimes I'd like to, be a little bit more intimate during these videos because I do them all in one take anyway, right? This is one take Mars. So why not do one live here and there, you know what I'm saying, to spice things up a little bit. Shout out to the homie Victor Del Maestro. Hiya. Thank you very much for joining us today. All right, and again, let me know how the volumes are. Let me know how the levels are and all that good stuff. Victor Del Maestro says, "I bought a bunch of games on sale today. It's crazy, man. How am I going to explain this to my wife?" See, my wife has a problem because she likes to buy tasty things and she never shares with her husband. So while she's away at work, I'm the one drinking up all the juices, eating up all the sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? And she's already yelling and fussing at me, and she's already says, "MM2K, that right side of your jaw's in danger." She said, "I already tapped out the left side. Now that right side is in danger." Now it's about to get even worse, y'all. You want to know why? Because like the homie Victor Del Maestro just alluded to, we're going to be spending so much money on these games, on these great games. We're going to talk about that. Shout out to the homie Stadia Revolution. He says, "I don't care what it's running at. I'm hyped for the game. Going to play the hell out of it on the road tomorrow." Hell Monkey says all of the audio levels are good. All right, people, let's get into it. All right. First and foremost, and shout out to the homie Brian Aguilar. He says these sales are good, but I wish the Mafia games came out. I know, I'm hearing good things about the Mafia ones that are optimized well on the platform. So we'll see. Hopefully that'll change and those things will be coming soon. But look, we can't deny that if these are the caliber, or this is the quality of the games that are going to be coming out on Stadia, even on Gen 1 or whatever you want to call it, the legacy platform. I'm using work terms. I promise not to bring work home, but I work from home, so whatever. I'm going into the weeds here, y'all. Anyway, the legacy platform, Gen 1.0, whatever you want to call it, if this is how they're going to bring games here, I think there's a bright future, nonetheless. So let's celebrate these EA games coming to the platform and keep our fingers crossed like our homie Brian Aguilar that we're going to get the Mafia games too optimized. We don't want them unoptimized. We're going to get them optimized. All right, but let's talk about it. And therefore, in order for us to talk about it, let me show you something. Check it out, folks. This is the circular. This is the blog post. It says this week on Stadia. Want to play a Star Wars game right now? Like, right now? Well, here we go. And let's take a look at everything. We got Jedi Fallen Order that, of course, dropped today, as we all knew it would. We got Everspace, that's a pro game. We got Monster Jam, that's a pro game. We got the creepiest secret neighbor. I was talking to my brother about this game yesterday. Like, this is too creepy. Can't let the kids. Hide your kids, hide your wife. But anyway, it's on the platform because the game is an indie hit, or the series is. We got Hitman 2 as a pro game. That's dope. I like that. Kind as a pro game, and Into the Breach that goes pro as well. Let's just touch on this a little bit, and let me make this a little bit bigger for those of you. Oh, that's not what we wanted to do. Come on, Chrome. I know we live, but we can't have too many faux pas. Okay, so it says this week on Stadia, become a Jedi in the galaxy-spanning adventure Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's Jedi Padawan. I know I'm butchering that. Please, Storm, don't let Storm hear that. Cal Kestis, complete your training, develop new powerful force abilities, and master the art of the iconic lightsaber, all while staying one step ahead of the Empire and its deadly Inquisitors. Buy Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order today in the Stadia store for a 60% off special promotional price of $23.99 USD or $27.99 euros. I believe that is. I should be better at this. I know. Shame on me, right? Okay. Then we got 6 free new games for December. Stadia Pro, Into the Breach, Hitman, Kind, Monster Jam, all those that I've alluded to earlier. And also November 30th, this is the last chance for Stadia Pro owners to claim Super Odd, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, Little Nightmares, the original Hello Neighbor, and Super Bomberman are online. Look at these deals, y'all. First, I want to talk about these deals. Okay. First and foremost, we had a lot of people in the ethos that say a lot of crazy things about Stadia, and most of them we can ignore. It's just when the big wigs, the mainstream, or sometimes we call them the lamestream media, they get things out of order. We got to call them out because we don't want them leading the unsuspecting gamer astray. That being said, we can't address everything. Sometimes you got to let people be in their simmer in their own silly stew, let them simmer in their own silly broth. But one of the things that we do want to address, because it does turn people away erroneously, is this notion that Stadia games are always full price and always more expensive. All right. So let's address that first and foremost. Let's take a look at that, right? If you look at this, does it look like that Stadia games always are full price or always more expensive? I mean, there's a few of these games right now. There's sales everywhere, but there's a few of these games that they're definitely more expensive on PlayStation sides. PlayStation sales, for some reason, as of late, they are very they're not robust. All right. They're definitely more expensive on PlayStation, even with the sales, and these sales are competitive in many cases versus what's on Xbox, right? Even the ones that aren't Stadia Pro, that don't have the full Stadia Pro slashing of the prices, they are very competitive to what Xbox is offering. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Stadia Ultimate Edition for $47.99, the base game for $23.99, Borderlands 3, $19.79. We got Doom, the original Doom that was ported over for $5.99. We got Doom 64 for $1.49. We got Doom Eternal, standard edition for $19.79. If you want the deluxe edition, it's $29.69. We got Dragon Ball Universe. We got 80 different versions of them out there. Far Cry 5, y'all know my game of the generation, $23.99. This is all, I'm reading this all in USD. We got Ghost Recon Wildlands, this Ultimate Stadia Edition for $40.49. Grid for $10.49. Hitman Game of the Year Edition for $17.99. Little Nightmares Complete Edition for $4.79. We got Marvel Avengers for $30. And the list goes on and on and on. Rage 2, I love Rage 2. It's a very slept on game, $17.99. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the aforementioned blockbuster game, $23.99. I don't know why I did that. I'm so excited. Too much caffeine. The Elder Scrolls Online, Greymore, $19.79. Watchdog Legions 49. Woo! Hold on, that just came out. What? Am I seeing this right, y'all? Watchdog Legions for $49.19. Amazing. Nothing short of amazing. Wow. So those are just the basic prices for the non-pro members. But if you look at the pro prices, they just get even more ridiculous. Look at this, Far Cry 5, in that case, the standard edition is $14.99. I don't know why they got multiple prices here. I don't know if this is an error or what. Something's going on. But they're a lot cheaper than what the standard discounts are. And you can't beat that with a stick. So regardless if Xbox has some that are even cheaper during the Black Friday sale or vice versa, because I was looking through some examples and I saw, that it's not across the board that Stadia is outdoing Xbox in sales. In some cases, the Xbox version is a couple dollars cheaper. In other cases, the Stadia version is a couple dollars cheaper. But at the end of the day, one thing that I illustrate here, which I'm going to show you right now, is that I think it's time. Now, don't pay attention to how I spell Frazier, and down goes Frazier. I guess just don't pay attention to it. Cover your eyes. The myth, and as in Frazier, we mean the myth that all games are full price and more expensive than anywhere else on Stadia. Keep in mind, these are not the Stadia Pro prices. And what I did, folks, is I just put those prices that we spoke of earlier in there. Look at that. All of those games. Down goes Frazier. So people got to stop with the silliness, all right? Now I want to talk Jedi Fallen Order. Wow. Okay, so one of the biggest curiosity questions about the platform is, what are these EA games coming and what are they going to look like? Okay. The EA games are officially on the platform. Not all of them, but they're starting to come. And they jump started it all with Jedi Fallen Order. And that's a great game. Great experience. I've always said myself, I would prefer to play it on Stadia as long as it's available in 60 frames per second. And they answered my prayers. Because I had a hard time trying to stream this game playing it natively from my PC. Even though I have a better video card right now, I'd rather stream games when I can from Stadia just to use even less resources. So I could do little fancy shindig overlays like this that y'all see right now. That's not possible if I'm streaming natively on OBS from the PC. Stadia makes that all possible. That being said, this is a big release of tension for me as a streamer, because again, now I know I get the performance of 60 frames per second on the platform. Shout out to the homie Project Storm that did find that information out first for me that I'm aware of, and then brought it back to let me know it was okay for me to pull the trigger on the game. Now again, I know there was some questions about it being native or whatever, but most of us on the platform, we're not too concerned about native 4K. We dealt with that several months ago back in 2019, right? We realized that when it comes to these AAA games, the expectation of them being native, if it's native, great. But what's more important is just how it looks overall in the performance. And with the advent of AI and machine learning, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us can't tell the difference unless So Digital Foundry tells us. So it's great that the 4K mode is 60 frames per second. It's beautiful, looks great on the platform. Storm, I know Storm is an advocate for it. He loves it. I've seen a lot of people playing it today. They love it. This is the way to go if you're putting a blockbuster game on the platform and you're trying to balance visuals and performance. We'd rather you upscale it even from 1080p. I'd rather you upscale it from maybe at 1200p, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Because we know it may start off at 1080, but you'll gradually work up and you'll get the native resolution as tight as it needs to be. But I think a sweet spot is like 1800. You really ain't got to go over 1800 as far as I'm concerned with native resolution, and just AI and machine learning the rest up. So the visuals are great on it. The performance, Storm says that he thinks that it may be knocking. Now this is Storm's take on it. Don't come after me. Don't throw the tomatoes and cabbage at me. But the homie Project Storm, and I trust him. I trust Storm Stradamus. He says that he feels that this game represents the apex as far as a balance of performance and how it looks and smoothness and all that other stuff. So it's right along up there with Division 2, if not better in some regards. You know, Project Storm, I see him in the chat. The homies in the chat. Storm Stradamus, definitely check out his channel. Storm, drop your a link to your channel here. We got to see that beautiful 4K beam footage. All right. So, and what that does is that makes me feel good on the inside, because now we know, folks, that EA ain't coming to the game just sloppy with it. They're not coming to the game sloppy with it. We're going to get some great looking games from EA with great performance. You know what I'm saying? And I just love the advent of it in the future that having support like this from EA is going to have. Because you know EA ain't always the greatest stewards of partnerships and all that other stuff. So it's great to see this, you know, at this level, performing at this level on the platform. It's a great thing indeed. And with that said, that is it from your boy MM2K. I'm going to go through the chat real quickly because we are live. We got Ray Sherrod. He said, voice recognition being stupid at Hell Monkey. Stadia Universe says, I saw those sales today. I realized I do not need Amazon Luna right now. Stadia is just so much better. Stadia Revolution says, I'm just ready for the game. I don't care about the 4K 60. I just want the experience and for it to be fun. And that's great. That's great. Project Storm said, who cares about native when DLSS and other techniques are looking better these days? Native is dead. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Native resolution is what's causing problems for these consoles right now. Remember when everybody was in an uproar about getting native resolution, with the not getting native resolution, but getting 60 frames per second because Assassin's Creed Valhalla wasn't going to be 60 frames per second on these new consoles, but people want them to pay another $500. And then we had the community had a big discussion. Stop focusing so much on native resolution because native is not more important than frames. We already got the apex of native resolution in a lot of ways, maybe not textures, but the resolution with the Xbox One X. And look what that did for them. The console got canceled 2.5 years later. People want the frames right now. Okay? People want the frames. So, with that being said, I think native resolution is dead. I wholeheartedly agree with you, Storm. Victor Medel Maestro said, picked it up on Stadia, but I have it on my Xbox One X. Project Storm said, thanks, I made another one. I will probably blow right through that game. It's so freaking dope. Lars Rye Jefferson says, man, I'm only 70% on Red Dead Redemption 2 story mode. For flying sakes, the game is huge. Hell Monkey says, my ISP is 100 megabytes per second for upload. Oh, okay. Homie is having... I know we were talking about ISPs earlier and the whole advent of Comcast. That sucks, man. We got to push back on that stuff, gamers. We got to push back on it. They're trying to beat us in the head with a cash register, as they say, where I'm from. We got to do something about that. State of Universe is chilling at Lowland Profits. Shout out to him and Lowland Profits. Cali Burkilla, excuse me. He says, what's good, people? Shout out to you. And I think we covered a good section. And the homie Amador's announced, he said, get on PlayStation. You have choices where to buy your games, unlike Stadia, where you're limited. You may be a little bit more limited, Amunar, but again, you still have options. Like, I get discounted Google Play credit. Same difference. pretty much. So with that said, even though you're limited, what's the point of selling me a bunch of bananas? You can buy your bananas over here, or you can buy them from this stand. If you can buy them from that stand, if I can go to Stadia and buy them from 1 or 2 stands instead of 5, but those 1 or 2 stands are cheaper than all 5 of those stands. It doesn't. What difference does it make, Amunar? Nice try, but try again, my good friend. With that said, that is it from your boy MM2K. Shout out to everybody that joined us live. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. This is fantastic, y'all. I'm loving it. I'm gonna be on that later. Until then, you all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Lars Rye can't leave it. He says, upscaled 4K 60 is so much better. You ain't never lied. Until then, peace.